Yes, good morning everyone. I hope you are doing all okay. So for this morning, we have a new topic. We're going to talk about other part of the earth, but we will focus on land. Are you ready? Let's start. Before we begin our lesson, I have three questions for you that you might answer during the discussion. Number one, can you describe the Earth's topography? Hmm, who knows what topography means? Number two, how many continents are there? Can you tell their names? Does it range from 5, 6, or 7? And the last question is, can you describe the basic life cycles and life support systems in the lithosphere? Teacher, what is lithosphere? The solid outer layer of the Earth is called lithosphere. Lithosphere is called land. It is the part on which human beings and many other living forms have made their homes and habitats, respectively. The Earth's landmass has been classified into large areas called continents. Do you know what continents are? The seven continents are Asia, Africa, North America, South America, Antarctica, Europe, and Australia. Most of the Earth's land is submerged in water because of the large areas of oceans and seas on the Earth's surface. The continents of the Earth rise above the sea level and stand higher than the ocean floor. Both the continents and the ocean floor are parts of the lithosphere. The ocean floor reveals a mysterious underwater world of submerged mountain ranges, plains, and valleys, with some mountains stretching up as islands in the oceans. Now, let's talk about a famous theory that explained how continents shift position on Earth's surface. We call it continental drift. The continents have not always been in their present positions. Many scientists believe that all the continents once made up a single landform known as Pangaea. For unknown reasons, the continents split, began moving apart, and settled into their present positions about 200 million years ago. The theory that explains this movement is known as continental drift. The continents are driven by the movement of a semi-fluid layer known as the asthenosphere, which lies beneath the lithosphere. Now, let's talk about landforms. When you look around or travel from place to place, you will often see a variety of landforms. Our country is blessed to have these landforms: hills, mountains, volcanoes, islands, plateaus, valleys, deltas, coral reefs, and plains. Come, let's talk about it. First landform is called a hill. It is an elevated landform that is higher than the surrounding land. Small, rounded hills are called knolls. In Arctic regions, buttes are common. A butte is a flat-top hill with steepy rocky sides. It is formed when a plateau is eroded at the sides. One of the famous hills that are visited by many tourists, local and international, are called the Chocolate Hills in Bohol. Do you know what landform is this? It is called a mountain. It is a landform that is higher than a hill. It usually has steep sides and sharp or rounded peaks. Sometimes hills and mountains are high and jagged, as they are in the Cordillera Mountains. Sometimes they are small and with gentle slopes. Let's look into some famous mountains here in the Philippines: Mount Banahaw and Cordillera. The biggest mountain in the whole wide world is Mount Everest. It measures up to 8,848 meters and 29,029. Another famous landform here in our country are volcanoes. A volcano is a hill or a mountain with a vent or opening called crater. Hot rocks and molten ashes are ejected or thrown out from this crater. A volcanic eruption can have major effects on people's lives. We also have famous volcanoes here in the Philippines. We have Taal Volcano, which is the smallest volcano that is found in Tagaytay. We also have Mayon Volcano, the perfect cone shape that is found in Bicol region. There are smaller landforms called islands, which geographically are considered parts of the various continental regions. An island is a landform that is surrounded by water. Thus, the Philippines is seen as belonging to the Asian region. Although our country consists of over 7,000 islands located into the Pacific Ocean. The next major landform is called plateau. It is a raised area of flat ground surrounded by steep slopes. Plateaus may be formed between mountain ranges or may lie at the feet of the mountain. Others may be leveled by erosion. Examples of plateaus here in the Philippines is in Baguio and Bukidnon City, which is in Mindanao. A landform that you may have seen in your local area or during your travel is called valley. A valley is a throw-shaped dip in the landscape. Most valleys contain rivers. Valleys found in high grounds have steep sides, while those on lowlands are wide and gently curved. A deep valley with very steep sides is called a canyon. Usually, canyons are found in flat, dry places. Very often, they have a river flowing in them. The famous valley that you can visit here in the Philippines is called Cagayan Valley in Bukidnon. If there are major landforms, there are also minor landforms such as delta. It is a wide, fan-shaped part of a river through which the river flows into a lake or sea. It is made up of sediments carried by the river's water. Mesa. A mesa is an isolated hill with a flat top resembling a table. Found in countries with a dry climate, a mesa has a cliff or a steep slope at the edges. A desert. What is desert? It is a body of land composed of sand or rocky soil with hardly any water. The most well-known deserts are the Sahara, Sonoran, and Kalahari. Another beautiful landform that is below sea level is called coral reef. It is a self-contained habitat for many organisms living underwater. Coral reefs have spectacular corals and beautiful creatures. They are popular tourist attractions. Many people engage in scuba diving to enjoy the beauty of coral reefs. The Philippines has some of the largest and most spectacular coral reef systems in the world. The last landform that we can see here in the Philippines are called plains. A plain is a landform that has a flat area with low elevation and gentle slopes. Plains are usually seen below hills and mountains. For centuries, the plains have become the major settlement area for people. Plant and animal life on the plains give much support for human habitation. That's it for today, grade 4. Do you still remember the different landforms that you can see here in the Philippines? I hope you do. For the next lesson, we are going to talk about how our resources all interconnected. Thank you so much for listening and see you again, grade 4.